Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Ty. What day is it, Ty?
You know it's hump day.
It's hump day. Welcome to a Wednesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with Ty Bartell with you from 12 to 2, as always, on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, a part of a little bit of a break in the weather where it's actually pretty nice out here in November.
Yeah, waking up this morning and going outside around 7 this morning. It was sunny. It was a little bit chilly, but clear skies, and it doesn't look like that's changed at all going into the latter portions of the day, as we'll take any beautiful days, especially in November in Ohio.
We have a great day for you planned today. We are going to have Josh Ziegler, the head coach of the United girls basketball team, on at 12:15. At 12:30, we are going to debut a off-air interview with Nick Blanche, the head coach of the Poland girls basketball team. And then at 1:30, we are going to not debut because it's been on the website for a couple hours, but we're going to play the interview with the Crestview soccer co-coaches Rob Auer and Riley McCall. It was great talking to them last night as they're excited for their state semifinal matchup today and tonight against Ottawa Hills, and that's going to be fun. YSN DJ Oakley will be there along with Mr. Jeff Betos. So that's going to have a fun time. Those two always have great time together when they're on the call. So don't miss it on YSN Live at 7 o'clock. Totally free, thanks to our friends over at Thousands of Bolts that have proudly sponsored this game that we're bringing you tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And you know what? We did not shy away with bringing the entertainment for the announcing group for this one. I mean, you get the owner, the guy that's behind a lot of great calls for this company since its inception back in 2017. And you get probably the most, and this is coming from me, someone that's very energetic, but one of the most energetic announcers or color commentary guys I think you'll ever find in YSN, and Jeff Betos. And if you need anything, look back at that LeBray Brookfield playoff game in 2020, and you'll hear just how excited Jeff Betos can get. So you guys got taken care of well for tonight.
I want to replace energetic with charismatic. I think that's word for Jeff.
He is something, man. I can't get enough of Jeff Betos. We love him, and I think you guys got so lucky with the call and what you guys got tonight. And it should be an exciting time for the Rebels.
And it's an exciting time for basketball, too, as we continue our basketball previews today with the United and the Poland girls basketball teams. And tomorrow we have 4 coaches on the air as well. So we continue to dive into our basketball previews. And, here's the thing. YSU women got the win last night, 70-67 over Eastern Michigan. And we had a winner to these tickets on Twitter. And I want to give him a shout out for getting the question right that we had of the day. It is Landon Wilson. But then, unfortunately for Landon, some scheduling got changed up on him and he was unable to go. So he has graciously forwarded these tickets to the next winner. So we still have them and we're still trying to give them away. So 4 tickets to the YSU women's home opener next Monday, still available. Today, Ty, what we're asking for on the comment section brought to you by Boardman Mitsubishi or on our Twitter at Running Point YSN, I want to know the city that Eastern Michigan is located in and the city that YSU played in.
I was going to say, if you ask what city the Penguins play, and I'm going to be like, can we get a comment now? Can we please just get a comment at this point?
I'm not making it that easy,
Yeah.
but it is pretty easy.
Yeah, that's
easy
a search away. And you know what? For a Monday, too, what else can you be doing on a Monday night, too? I mean, not a lot of high school sports are going to be going on. And you know what? It gives you a little bit of it'll tide you over until the high school hoop season starts officially, too. So get out there and support the local college teams as well.
So once again, 4 tickets to the YSU women's home opener on Monday night at 7 against Akron. For the first person that either comments on the Boardman Mitsubishi comment section here or leaves us a message on Twitter at Running Point YSN. We want to know the city that Eastern Michigan plays in and where the YSU played yesterday. So that's what it takes. 4 tickets free for you, and we'd love to give them away.
Yeah, no doubt. And like we said, let us take care of your Monday for you and give you something to do for Monday night.
I'm sure Steve Leslie will be there, so you'll be able to see our GM. I might be there. You'll be able to run into me. It'll be a fun time. Let's have a party at Beagley Center.
Yeah, no doubt. So get out there and hey, it's literally a search away. You get one search away and you can have your Monday taken care of.
So that takes care of that. We'll continue to remind people as the show goes on. But today we want to dive a little bit more into we got a couple of playoff matchups taken care of yesterday. Going to continue today because we have a busy Thursday. Yesterday we talked really in depth about the matchup between Garfield and Kirtland. I mean, we really broke this down. We were talking about, what makes Kirtland so good, why Garfield has such a good chance in this one, yada, yada, yada. I want to also bring up the Glenville-Ursuline matchup a little bit because, we glanced over it yesterday before we had an interview on, but today, man, this Glenville team, Ty, they're good. They're very good. We saw them beat VASJ, and that's the team that beat Ursuline. So when you look at this and the fact that Ursuline has to go basically to Glenville's backyard, they can walk to this stadium that they're playing at Euclid. What kind of things do you think Ursuline can learn from the games that they've struggled in this year to really put their best foot forward on Friday night?
I think the biggest thing is don't get in your own heads is the big thing. And I think we saw that in 2 notable losses against VASJ and the Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, which I had the opportunity of watching really a lot of the St. Vincent St. Mary game and a good majority of the Villa Angela St. Joseph game. And honestly, what it is when Ursuline tends to get down early, they can make mistakes that put them into an insurmountable hole because I think at certain times when they get down early, especially, they try to do too much. And I think Ursuline is a good enough team that if they just stay within themselves and keep their identity of using DeMarcus McElroy to open up the pass game for Brady Shannon to find Ja'Kylan Irving and Dean Boyd and really start flowing the whole offense together and get that dragon, that 3-headed dragon, all those heads moving on offense, and the receiving, the running game, and the quarterback on the offense for Shannon as well. And I mean, it really all starts with just don't be something you're not, and don't go and shy away from your game plan just because you don't see it working in the first couple of drives. I think Ursuline's a good enough team, and they've proven they can beat some of the best teams in the area. It's when they start turning the ball over, they really put themselves in a hole, and it makes it a little bit harder for that offense to dig themselves out of.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. The turnovers come from when they are trying to do too much, or they're trying to play outside of themselves a little bit, make plays that maybe they pass up. Since we're going with basketball previews today, I think it's a great analogy because basketball coaches will say all the time, and we've had basketball coaches say it on the show, passing up a good shot to get a great shot. And I think sometimes Ursuline tends to go for a huge home run play when the underneath route's right there and you can just take it.
Or when you have DeMarcus McElroy, who can consistently give you 4 to 5 yards a carry, you can nickel and dime teams to death if you if you took about 20% off of the passing and put it more into Marcus McElroy, because that's a great line. And if you could open up with play action, and that's what it thrives on, is if DeMarcus is considered a threat from the onslaught of that game, your play action is going to open up your passes so much, and you're going to be able to hit those home run balls. But you have to stay disciplined and make sure DeMarcus is respected throughout the game, because if they're not respecting him and they're just sitting back in the pass, like what we saw when Ysn was going up against Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, a lot of interceptions thrown because they were just coming out in nickel and dime sets, bringing 5-6 defensive backs on the field, and then that was over. They were just loading the secondary up and stopping the pass then. If you consistently are utilizing that run game, I think that's going to be huge for Ysn in this one.
Let's talk about their defense, because, I mean, the defense has been harped on all season. Oh, this is Ysn's weak spot. First 2 games of the playoffs, their defense really came to play. I mean, they slowed down a Canton South offense that we've seen go high flying, and they slowed down Salem a little bit, or at least enough to win that game. Made some key stops so Ysn could take a 2-score lead and put that away. Their defense has shown up so far in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not a sense of, it doesn't need to be a perfect defense, and it doesn't need to be shut down.
Like that, I
just
figured that out.
need to hold them under what you score for you to win, and it's improved and it's gotten better. That's the only thing that you can say. It's not a perfect defense. Will I say it's a top 10 defense in the area? Probably not. Would I even say it's top 10 in Division 4 right now? Maybe. I might give you that as of recent, but the point is it got better. And that's all it needed to do, was improve going into it. Instead of holding teams to 40 and 30, you're holding them to under 30 in the high to mid 20s. And you know what? Against a lot of teams and what Ysn could do on offense, I like that. If you could keep teams under 30 on defense, I think Ysn can win a lot of ball games then.
And I think you hit the nail on the head again. I think they've finally figured out, and they've put in their minds, they don't have to be perfect on defense. Of course, you would love to be, and you want to go and you want to execute. So it's not an excuse to be lazy. Oh, we don't have to be perfect, so let's just go and go through the motions. But it means you can play a little bit loose. I think they've simplified the defense a little bit and let their athletes just go be athletes and just swarm to the ball a little bit more. I've seen a lot more good tackling, and I think that just comes from a defense playing loose.
Yeah, and you know what? You can play a lot more man-to-man if you have a lot of great athletes. And yeah, it might take the zone away, but man-to-man is a pain in the you-know-what to deal with if you have great athletes, that as long as the athletes can keep up with their man most of the time, and we'll see, because I'm sure Glenville has some skilled receivers too. But if you're able to just keep up with your man half the time, that's half the battle, and it can be a huge threat in the passing game if Ysn's playing really good with their athletes on man-to-man in the secondary.
I'm sure our guest in the green room has some thoughts on man-to-man defense and zone defense and all these different things you can do on the basketball court. We're going to be talking to Josh Ziegler, the head coach of the United Girls. Coach, how we doing?
Hey guys, how we going?
We're doing good. We're happy to have you on.
Well, Coach, first and foremost, we know what this EOAC is going to hold this year, as it's going to be an exciting year. Looking at it, too, we know every team's kind of lost a little bit, but every team's kind of bringing back some talent. And looking at that, we know you guys are obviously worth mentioning always with the EOAC, and that's credit to what you've been able to do over there. But talking about your team, what are some big names that you're bringing back this year, and some of those younger players that you expect to have an impact at some point this season?
We're pretty fortunate to bringing back quite a few athletes on our team. I'll start with senior Savannah Burton. She is a pretty tough individual. She's a great rebounder and a really good on defense. We have some really great core of juniors with Maddie Kibler, Taylor Cope, Mickey Shastine, who are all looking to build off of experience from last year. And then we have another junior, Chloe Cooper, who's looking to slide in and get some minutes at the varsity level as well. Then we have a nice core of sophomores, too, with Grace Knight, Grayson Kidder, Addie Blazer, Sam Lippiett, who have all had varsity experience last year. And then add a couple new ones with Katie Dees and Maddie Zines. So we're looking at all of those names right there that contributed last year in either the JV form or at the varsity level for us. And we're looking to really fill some shoes that we lost a couple players from last year and keep building on momentum that we had.
Coach, when we look at United and we look at some of the things that they're able to do, especially last year and compared to this year, what kind of things do you think when you look at this team, you want to really build off of what you did last year and improve on from what you did last year?
Well, I think we want to build off of a lot of momentum that we had last year. We ended our season pretty strong. We had a nice winning streak of 9-10 games and right in the middle of our season. And we did that with a lot of younger players. We only had 2 seniors on the team and 1 junior at the time. And we weren't expected to do a lot of things last year. And what we did was we just kind of gotten better. It got better and got better. And I'm going to think we kind of snuck up on some people last year that didn't really think that we had a chance to make some noise. And when we did, we really started gaining confidence within ourselves, gaining confidence within the system, and trusting each other, trusting the coaches. And so we started really, really coming together as a team. And we carried that into the end of the season and into the playoff run, which we had a really good game with Brookfield. So hopefully we're going to continue off of a lot of that momentum and build on the confidence and trust within each other and keep moving forward. And hopefully we won't have to surprise a whole lot of people this year. Hopefully people will be looking for us more in the future.
Talking about this EOAC and navigate through it with us for us a little bit too, knowing that there's going to be so many teams competitive, so many teams that can be fighting for a piece of the crown. What does that kind of bring mentality-wise to the team going into each and every game, knowing that this is going to probably be a knock them down, drag them out kind of a matchup?
Well, I think the EOAC is a lot different than it was last year. I think, for one, there's a lot of players that graduated within the EOAC that had a ton of experience. You're talking Grace Whitmer from Columbiana. You're talking Gil from Valley. You're talking the 3, 4, 5 girls at East Palestine and the 2 that we had, and Newtonia had some. And so there's a lot of players that left. So that opened up a door for a lot of teams now to start entering with younger players. And the league got considerably younger. I mean, I look at Lisbon and I look at Columbiana, even Valley. They're all going to be playing younger kids, and they're all going to have skill. And that's what's going to make it wide open for everyone. And for us, we're still young too. I mean, we still have a lot of sophomores that are going to be playing a lot of minutes. So I think it's going to be which team or teams mature quicker and which teams buy into their system, and ultimately what teams really stay healthy throughout the year, because we're still dealing with a pandemic right now. I know I'm dealing with it on my team. I got a couple injuries. I got 1 in quarantine. So it's going to be a lot of the maturity factor, health, and who's ready to perform each and every night.
Coach, I know you also put together a very strong non-conference schedule. Talk about some of the teams that pop up on your schedule that aren't in the EOAC, and how much you think they're going to prepare you for the end of the season come tournament time.
Well, it's funny you say that, Anthony. We've been talking all off season about that. We really started with our scrimmage schedule this year and really bumped it up. We went with a lot of D2 and D3 schools. We started with Champion and Canton South. We're moving on to East Liverpool and Boardman. We got Fairless and Ravenna Southeast on the schedule, Indian Creek and South Range, who we're going to visit tonight. So we're really starting strong with our scrimmage schedule. We really want to pump that up and keep moving forward. And then within the season, our home opener is with Jackson Milton. I mean, that's a tough way to start the season. They're a 15-win team from last year. We move on to St. Thomas and Springfield and Poland, Crestview, Salem, Ursuline are all on the schedule this year, and we finished with Beaver Local. So our focus really was to what can we do to better prepare our girls for our league and moving into the tournament. We wanted to really move forward with D2 and D3 schools and get some of those schools that are in our district on our schedule too, to really get their attention and see what we're all about as a team and a program.
And I gotta say, I'll say something real quick, then Ty can answer the question. I'm sorry about that. I think I don't have all the EOAC schedules in front of me, but when I see those teams that you just said, that might be the toughest non-conference schedule in the EOAC. Just putting that out there.
It's out there. I mean, there's a lot. You're exactly right. But we did that on purpose again. So, and there's a gauntlet where we play Crestview, Salem, Poland, Springfield, all within 4 games of each other. So it's here we go. So, I mean, are we going to win them all? No, we know that. But the point is we want to learn to compete, and we need to compete with those bigger schools in order to get to that upper echelon of where we want to be.
Everyone gets in, right? So
That's it.
We all know too, Coach, that especially with younger players, you mentioned the sophomores and a good junior class coming in. That junior class especially is always intriguing to me because I feel like you find a lot of growth from that sophomore to junior year, especially from the summer. What are you seeing from a lot of your juniors and a lot of your younger players overall with the summer work and how they came in this year and how that growth has looked?
Well, we had 2 sophomores that got a considerable amount of time last year, and Maddie Kibler and Taylor Cope. One is a nice point guard. One is our center. So for them to mature and grow last year, it was big. And then they moved into the summer and they really started taking on, all right, I'm a junior now. It's time for me to really start moving forward. And they did that. And now they've got a nice group of sophomores to go with them. And they really, really rely on each other and they really work together. I got two good kids in Maddie Kibler and Addie Blazer who are picking up the slack for a Destiny Hill who graduated last year, our point guard. And it's a big hole to fill. She was a 4-year starter for us. And those two haven't blinked an eye. Those two have taken the ball. They've gone with it. They run our offense. They run our team. They've done a really nice job. And I got 2 good shooters on the outside with Grace Knight, Grayson Kidder, who really can shoot the basketball. And Sam Lippiett, who's another sophomore, she's just to get down and dirty guard. So I got a nice group that are starting to mature and they're trying to mature as a team. But at the same time, they were all there this summer. They didn't miss a day. Our turnout this summer was fantastic. We went to shootouts at Mount Union. We had a nice summer league at West Branch playing better competition. So I couldn't have been happier with the whole group being there, being dedicated, and they have been every day at practice so far too. They really have some goals for themselves and they're really trying to achieve those.
I'll tell you, Coach, last year, Madison Kibler was one of my favorite players to watch, and I call some of your games. Just one of the energy and the wheels just never stop with that kid.
Yeah, I agree. She works hard. Basketball is her passion, that's for sure, and she is nonstop with it.
This is something that you and I have talked about off the air when we're at games, and you look around United's gym and you see really quickly the tradition of the girls basketball program and the success they've had. And you guys kind of put the first blocks of getting back to there last year. How special is it to you, who has been with this program for a while, been around this program for a while, to kind of get this program back to what the success it used to have?
It's special. I mean, I was blessed to be a part of those special teams back in the 2013, 2014 seasons, and being around and coaching against Roger Ziegler when he was there. It is special to see all that and to think about those memories and think about what it means to put those numbers on the wall and see those trophies in the cases. You know, these girls are so far removed from that. They were so young in elementary school when all that stuff even happened. So to really revisit that and show them how important it is, what it means to the school, what it means to the community, you have to reiterate what it feels like. And I've talked a lot of times with our assistants, and we've talked about what it felt for us to be there and do that. And we've had to reiterate to them because ultimately they haven't had a whole lot of high school success when it comes to winning those championships. You know, they can win a championship in middle school, and that means something, or at the younger levels. That does mean something at the time. But as time goes on, those memories kind of wash away. Those high school memories stay because that is a number now on the wall. So we have to get back to that, and we have to make sure that they understand that. And our kids they've really grasped that. They want that more than anything. So it all depends on them and how hard they're working and how hard they can look at each opponent in front of them.
We also know, though, Coach, that, I mean, the girls are able to take it as far as the culture that the coach has been able to implement at the school. So in saying that, when we ask your girls, or when we ask your players of former years what it means to play for United, what it means to be a Lady Eagle, what would you hope they would say?
Well, coming from the United community, I hope they say work hard, because that is expected of them from home. A lot of these girls are in 4-H. They have animals that they work with day in and day out. They have farm chores in the morning or in the evening. So they understand what it means to dedicate themselves and to work hard. Also, and we stress what it means to be accountable and responsible. You know, accountability and responsibility are a way of life that they have to understand and do those things. And these kids are. I mean, they know that they're accountable by going to school every day. They're accountable by doing their homework every day, being on time at practice every day. They understand what that process is. And we are really hard on them and make them certain that they do understand what it means. But at the same time, we also want them to enjoy their high school experience. I'm really big on that. You're in high school once. We want them to do the things in high school and enjoy the process of being in high school and enjoy the process of growing up.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to highlight your coaching staff, your assistants, and the people that are in this program that kind of make it what it is.
Yeah. At the high school level, I have my assistant is Corey Leak, and my other assistant is his dad, Terry Leak. I'm pretty lucky to have both those guys. They have a ton of high school basketball experience. The three of us really get along, and we work together. We talk together. We talk at each other all day, even outside the basketball court. I have two good middle school coaches in Luke Williams and Todd Charchette. And I'm really fortunate to have a good group of 4th, 5th, and 6th grade coaches that help out with those girls in the evenings when we're not there and keep our tradition going and understanding that basketball is fun and we want that interest there.
Obviously, the excitement is in and throughout the United community, what they were able to do in football season, having that success, getting that community support back. So going into now basketball season, how excited are you and how good do you think it's going to be for the Hanoverton community to have girls and boys basketball back to be in attendance for during the winter?
I'm glad you asked that question. I really am, because last year, you know, like every coach has said, we were unfortunate to have fans other than our parents or our grandparents be there, and thankful for you guys we were able to see it on TV or on our computers. But now to be able to have that crowd there is going to be something special. Earlier when I said we built momentum at the end of the year, we had a big game against East Palestine last year where our fans went absolutely crazy. From that day, they set the culture of what it meant to be a fan at the game, and we talked about it at our banquet, what it meant to be in those stands and what it means to when our team comes on the floor. And we're trying to carry that culture on now. Our parents right now are starting to organize some of the most unique things for these kids when they step on the floor. They're organizing what it means to have the student section there and have themes and things like that. So we are really excited to be able to have people come to the games. I think selling it to the fans isn't going to be a problem. I think they're going to be there. We see on Friday nights, they're there for the boys' games. I think they're going to be there for the girls' games too on Mondays and Thursdays, because that culture is going to be set, and these kids are so excited to play. And I think the fans are going to be so excited to be there, be a part of some good basketball, and just be back a part of the United community.
We're so excited for the start of the season. We're so excited to cover you guys all season, and we know that we'll be talking to you again real soon as the year goes on.
Hey, I appreciate it, and go Eagles. I can't wait to see you guys in person. Hey, Anthony, I want to let you know too, I know you were on us last year about getting some new threads.
Yes.
So it's in the process, my friend. So we're going to have some new threads this year. So they look pretty good. We're just waiting on some customs issues with the border. So hopefully they'll be here soon and you'll be able to see them.
Yes, that is exciting.
There you go, man.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we will be talking to you again real soon.
Anytime. Thank you guys very again.
As we love having our coaches on, and we got one that happened behind some closed doors of the live streaming doors yesterday, but we're here to bring it to you and air it to you. I believe this one with Coach Blanche is the first time it will ever be seen.
Yes, it
right.
hasn't been posted.
It hasn't been posted, so you're still seeing it for the first time right here on Running Point.
And I wanted to say, I got on them for the Reds, not because they were bad uniforms or they were ugly or anything like that. It was simply they were the same uniforms they had when I watched them play South Range in high school, and I was like, wait a minute.
You just need a little bit of an updated uniform.
It's 10 years. Let's go.
I get that. But no, it should be exciting. And no doubt United, the girls team, should be very, very fun to watch in that EOAC. And it should be exciting to get out to some games.
Hoping for some nice gold. I like United in the gold. I'm a
I
sucker.
might need to try to see if I could fit in United in my schedule somewhere. And that's one of the schools I have yet to visit. And I would love to go out and visit United sometime.
It's a special gym. I'll put it that way. It's a special gym. It's got like its own unique lighting. It's like it almost looks gold in there. The lighting is a little bit more yellow than all the other gyms that you'd go to. And it's also down. So you're on floor level and you're looking down on the court. So it's a fun atmosphere. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that seems like an interesting atmosphere. I love a lot of the gyms around the area, though. All of them are so unique.
So you put on a tee, and we're gonna now head to the debut of our coaches corner with Nick Blanche, the head coach of the Poland girls basketball team. I had a chance to catch up with him last night, and it was a great conversation. And we're gonna debut that now on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig here with another Coach's Corner. We're continuing our basketball previews, joined by a very good friend and friend of Ysn for a while now, Nick Blanche from the Poland girls basketball program. Coach, here we go. Another season has come, and we are ready to preview it.
It's never official until I'm on YSN. Now that YSN is here, let basketball begin, baby.
And man, a lot of new things for the Poland girls basketball team. There's going to be a changing of the guard. Fans are going to get a new experience. It's going to be a new look of this team. Talk about some of the players that you guys have that are still going to step up and be leaders for you guys. And then maybe some new faces that fans should expect to see come out of the woodwork and be big roles.
Well, this year we have 3 seniors. We have Connie Kugris, Abby Farber, and Morgan Kluchar. Morgan will be a 4-year starter, 4-year letter winner. So we're excited with her leadership, and the other 2 have done a great job as well. So we're excited with everything we have to this point. Obviously, big shoes filling with Jackie gone this year. So we're excited for the opportunities. Names that you will see more of, Mary Brandt, obviously. You'll see it and hear a lot from her this year. She had a phenomenal year as a freshman last year. We look for big things from her. People out of the woodwork that I expect you to hear, Ariana Daniels. You'll hear her name quite a bit this year. Sarah Forsyth, she's another one. Katie McDonald, big 6'3" girl. She's going to do great things. Ava Nicoludis, she'll do good things at the guard position for us. Brooke Rowe, she is back for the first time in 2 years. She has had 2 ACLs, the same one twice, and has missed basketball season 2 years in a row. And junior year, she's off to a great start, and just having her on the floor makes us a better team, and we're excited for her to be a part of that. Sis Williams, Leanne Williams, you will hear her name quite a bit as well. She'll be giving us post help this year at the 4 and the 5, so we're excited for her. And maybe a little bit from some of the younger kids as well. But for right now, those 10 would probably be the 10 that I would think you would hear the most from coming forward.
You know, we've been talking to you for a long time. This is our 4th season. So we've been very close to this program. We know the family aspect and what has made this program great internally. But people on the outside probably look at you guys the last couple of years and go, okay, they had Jackie Grisdale. They got lucky with the talent. You know, they were able to succeed with her and Sarah Burry and some of the other players that you've had. Do you think this is the year where you get to kind of prove to people that the core foundation of your program is really what made you guys successful, not just the talent that you guys were able to have those last couple of years?
With all due respect to your question, we have nothing to prove to anybody, no matter whether we have Jackie Grisdale or not. That's not what we do. We are here to get better, gel, learn life lessons, and we do the best that we can. And no matter what, you know as well as I know, whether we win, whether we lose, we're always going to have people that have different opinions. And if they're for us, they're always going to be for us, no matter whether we win or we lose. And if they hate our program, if they hate me personally, no matter what we do, it's never going to be good enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say? So I don't do this to prove anything to anybody. And because I know I'm an easy target. I'm loud, I'm big, I'm aggressive. And I know the people that don't like me are going to use that against me. But they don't hear me when I'm screaming at top lung in a good way, in a positive way, which I do more times than I don't. And I just get excited. I'm passionate about it. These kids work their tails off. And if they had a bad night, they don't have to answer to anybody else or have to prove anything. Do the best you can. And as long as their attitudes are good and their efforts are great, I'm all for whatever we do this year, regardless of who is on the court or not. Because last year, Jackie, deservedly so, got all the credit, and most people only knew her. But we had a lot of people that stepped up and did a lot of good things last year for us, including the other two seniors, Lizzie Herdman and Ella Harrell. And they were very important pieces. They just didn't average 20 points a game. And I understand the accolades that Jackie got, and she earned every one of them. But we were more than Jackie last year. And together we were district champs, and I'm very proud of that group, and I'm even more excited for this group this year, but not for those reasons. I'm just excited at the fact that they have good attitudes and they're very coachable kids.
I guess back to the core of that question, and what I really wanted to get at was this program has built the family tradition where you guys have been one of the more put together, tight-knit chemistry programs that I've ever seen. This is a year where do you think that can really be thrust into the limelight where you guys are going to be playing together extremely well? And when people talk about your program, they're going to say this team is a unit and this team plays extremely well with high chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited for that. And it's nice to see when these younger kids become older kids. And now we have seniors and juniors that were sophomores and juniors, and they got to experience what it's like to be under other kids' wings. And now they get to be the ones who are issuing the shoulder for everybody to lean on. And like I always remind them of that. Remember what you had as you were young. I mean, you had those people leaning on you, or you were able to lean on those people. And remember how that made you feel to have that. It wasn't intimidating. You weren't a stupid freshman, and you got neglected just because you were in ninth grade, and it's nice to see that. And I don't think there's enough of that. It's just like some just focus on their top players, and we really strive to just be good people in this program as best we can. But it's a lot of work, and it's not easy. And some people are great people. They're just not outspoken leaders. So now when it's their turn to be that older kid and I'm pushing on them to say, hey, you got to be more vocal. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. It takes a while for kids to learn that, like we did a drill the other day. And in the drill, kids were going to the back of the line and nobody was high-fiving anybody. Everybody was just walking past one another. I stopped the entire drill. Hey, that's not good enough. We're not getting any better. Everybody's walking like they're on their own island, and there's no communication. There's no encouragement. There's no high-fiving. Now, to the person on the outside, that sounds stupid. But to a person who's been coaching for over 20 years, team chemistry is the first building block you need to have success. If you don't have team chemistry, you can be a great coach. You could have great players. It's going to be tough to have true success because you need people that want to be happy for someone else other than themselves. So it's to answer your question, it is a lot of work, but I am most proud of that more than any type of win or championship we'll get. We have kids that are building friendships for lifetime. Like kids move on, they go to college, they move away, and they're still in communication with kids they played with from other grades. That is tremendous, and I love hearing those things and seeing those things.
Coach, it's time to talk about your schedule and kind of preview the teams that are going to be on it. Obviously, we'll start with the conference and the NE8. It worked out kind of funny where almost all the teams near the top, their leading scorers have graduated. There's no more of the three-headed monster, the NE8. No more Emma Alaya, no more Izzy Lamparty, no more Jackie Grisdale in this big conference that we had. So every team essentially is going to look a lot different than last year. What do you think about this conference? And do you think it's going to be a lot more parity and competitiveness in this conference than we've seen in a couple of years past?
I really do. I think it's going to be very competitive, and I think there's going to be teams that surprise people. And I'm going to tell you the number one team on that list, in my opinion, again, my opinion, I think it's going to be Jefferson. I think Jefferson, TJ Furman's doing a great job out there. And I know they were good last year. They gave us a push in our first round tournament game last year. And they have a lot of kids coming back. And some people will laugh that off, but I absolutely do not. And of course, you have South Range, who's always well coached. And those kids play hard. Struthers, Hubbard's another up and coming team. You got everything going on at Lakeview with Pavlansky and their staff over there, what they're doing over there. And I know she'll be the focal point in their offense and defensive schemes. It's going to be, like you said, no real big names, but that's okay. I mean, it's going to be competitive, and there's a lot of people out trying to prove themselves this year. And I know that them seeing in their eyes the big names come off of South Range and Poland, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, and everybody's still going to want to give us their best shot and show us what they're made of. And we're fully expecting that again this year. And I think it is, like you said, going to be much more competitive. Not that the past years were cakewalks, but I think it's a more level playing field than in years past, which is exciting.
To your point about Jefferson, they, like you, have a four-year starter coming back in Taylor Skinner. And we saw her during volleyball season, athletic, tall, and really a problem to deal with. I'm sure you know you've been coaching against her for 4 years.
Yep, absolutely. Hard worker. And like I said, she's being put in good spots by her coaching staff, and she's doing extremely well. And we know that'll cause us problems, but we'll worry about that when we get to her. But I have the utmost respect for that program and TJ for what he's been doing over there and the attitude those kids have, positive, and you can tell that he's really building that foundation out there. And it says a lot about the way they've been playing and the way they've come around.
You guys always have a strong non-conference schedule to go with your tough NE8 schedule. Who are some teams that are going to pop up on the list this year?
Well, Canfield twice. We love playing Canfield. Those are always battles. We got West Branch in the United Way game. We have Howland, Boardman, Fitch. So we open up with Fitch, actually. So, that'll be a good test right out of the gate and see where we're at. They have Zeta, which will be back this year. I can't remember whether she's a junior or a senior, but, she's definitely a deep threat, and we'll be eyeing her up to see how, we can do against her. But again, very challenging. And like I said, the league schedule as well. It's one game at a time, and we're not going to look too far ahead, and we're not worrying about anybody else but ourselves. And we're going to do the best that we can possibly do. And I'm excited for it. I really am. Like I said, some people have already asked me, after last season, like, am I done? I got that a couple times. Are you done? You going out with Jackie? Well, why? Well, because Jackie's gone. What do you got? Well, we got kids that want to play basketball. I'm not here for, one kid or a glory run. This isn't about me. I'm here. I love coaching basketball. I love being a part of it. I love seeing the growth and the family atmosphere that we're a part of. And it's exciting. I mean, like we talk about the kids that know each other and make friends for years to come. I still talk to kids that I coached in 2009, and now they're having families and getting married and going through all these things. And it's great. It's fun to see these kids grow up and still want to reach out and talk to Coach Blanche, and likewise with me. I look forward to hearing from them and seeing the baby pictures and, the things that are going on in their life right now. And like I said, it's not always pretty. I always tell the girls, it's like your family at home. You love your family at home, but there's days you want to tell your family where to go because you just don't want to hear it. And it's the same with practice. There's sometimes that most of the time we all get along and everybody's happy for one another, but then there's some days where they don't really want to be there. It's a long season, and I'm not really one for taking days off, especially when we're there for 2 hours. And it's not the best of days, but at the end of the day, we still love each other and we want what's best for one another. But it's just like a family in your own house. It's not always pretty.
Coach, if you ever left us, we'd have to have a serious conversation about you stopping coaching. That wouldn't fly with me. I would miss these interviews way too much.
I'd be going to YSN, man. I'll be right there with you. We'll be sitting there. We'll be interviewing all the other coaches, and I get to heckle them and do all that with you, man.
What are some things that you want people, now that we've talked about people that you have coached before and they've reached out to you and you're still in close contact with you, what kind of things, if you had to pinpoint something that you want girls to take away from your program after they leave it, or they want to kind of look back and say, I learned this from being a Poland Bulldog, what kind of things would you say?
Mentally tough. Because it's tough playing sports and doing all those things, but it's even tougher when there's expectations, and the expectations never go away, and you're constantly asked to, come out of your comfort zone and do things that aren't exactly easy for you. Dribble with your left hand, finish with your left hand, take the ball down the floor in a press, and you really don't want the ball in your hands, those types of things. Be a leader. And Coach, I really don't talk very much. I don't want to talk in front of all these kids. I don't want to be in the middle and lead a drill, but you can do it. I know it's out of your comfort zone, but you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and seeing kids do that and knowing, hey, I was able to do that. That's a life lesson. That's not a basketball lesson, because all throughout your life, you're going to be challenged with things you don't want to deal with. And your first reaction, mine included, is I can't do this. Yes, you can do this, because you've been through tougher things, and you're going to be able to do it. You just got to regroup, have your meltdown, regroup, and then go out and do the best that you can. And those are things that I want them to know, that, hey, I was part of a basketball program, and it was more than just wins and losses. Because at the end of the day, most of them aren't even going to remember most of their wins and most of their losses. It's going to be how they felt while they were in the program, and things that they took away from it, the friendships they made, and the bonds. So that's the biggest thing. Just, I can do it. The believe in yourself attitude, the overcome attitude, be able to deal with adversity and not crumble. Those are things that I want those kids to be able to look back on. And I have some of my former players that are now coaches, and they get it a lot more now than they did as a player, because now they're trying to instill those things in their programs. And they have had communication with me about that, about how difficult it is. And I tell them the same thing. You can't quit, because if you give up on these kids and quit trying to instill those things, then it's never going to happen. You've got to push through it, no matter how down you feel about it or how worthless you feel about it at times, like this is pointless. It's going to break through one day, but it takes time as a new coach to instill your values. And just keep at it if you really believe at it, and if you really believe in something, and it'll all work out.
Coach, last year was crazy for a multitude of reasons, but one of the weirdest things was not being able to really have the Poland community have your back in the gym physically. Now, we're seeing crowds be allowed back into sporting events. We hope that we all have, open gyms and are able to have full capacity crowds. What's it going to be like for you guys to get that support back from this great community and be able to feed off the energy of a crowd?
Oh, we're excited as heck to have these people. I mean, they constantly stayed with us last year, constantly sending messages, social media especially, and YSN was a big one for us. They loved tuning into YSN, watching us. They weren't able to be there physically, but I'll tell you what, we knew that they were there. They knew about everything that we were doing. A lot of congratulations. To have them back in the mix with us, we are super excited. We're looking forward to getting people back in, seeing our games in person, and being able to thank them for coming out. But it'll be nice. It was definitely missed last year, and I am super excited to have those people back in. And our scorekeeper will be back this year, as far as I know. John Alsop, he was battling cancer last year. He's a pillar in our community. He doesn't even have a daughter. And he comes to the games, works the clocks, does whatever he can for all the different programs that he can. Super excited to have him back at the scores table this year, as well as all the fans. It just means a lot, and it's come a long way, because I started when the gyms were empty, and we could barely even get all of our families there, let alone extended family. Now people that just want to come watch basketball, because at the end of the day, most people want to just go watch boys basketball. And I get that. And we still haven't conquered all those people, because some people think girls basketball is still a waste of their time, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. But we have more people buying into it because they like our style of play, how aggressive the girls are, and they've given it a chance. So, and we're looking forward to getting those people back in and making it worth their time.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to highlight your coaching staff, the assistants you have this year, and the people that are helping you kind of make this program what it is.
Well, first of all, I got my administration. I have my administration starting at the top with our new superintendent, Craig Hockenberry. He's been phenomenal, always coming around, very interested. He told me he doubts he'll miss hardly any games this year. He loves basketball. He wants to come see the girls, the boys. So that's great, getting that all the way from the top. We had that with Mr. Janifay too, and to have this carry over with the new superintendent, we're excited to have that. Our administration, obviously, at the high school is awesome. We have Kevin Snyder, Mike Daly, Ed Ashcroft, and of course our athletic director, Brian Banfield. You can't ask for a more supportive group than that. These guys are always at everything as much as they can, as well as, they have their own families too. So when you see 2 or 3 of them at a game, that means something to you, because you don't need to have 2 or 3 of them there, but it means something to myself and my staff and my players. And then my assistant coaches, my right-hand guy is Chris Martin, does the defense, does everything I ask of him, and then some. Would be a great head coach if he ever wanted the opportunity, which currently he doesn't. But if he did take it, he would be great at it. And I also have the pleasure of having a former player back. Aaliyah Hughes was her maiden name. She recently got married. She is now Aaliyah Diamond. Started out with me in high school, graduated from Western Reserve, and came back. She's now a teacher at Poland and a former player of mine. So I'm super excited to have her on board. She's been doing a great job. She's our volleyball coach, and the girls know her. They love her, and she has been doing tremendous. She's like a sponge. She wants to come in, learn everything, and she's been doing a great job showing herself as a coach, initiating her leadership to our players. So we're excited to have us here. We do miss, obviously, having Kim Grisdale and Brian Garkar. We wish them well in their endeavors. Coach Garkar's coaching boys over there at Struthers, helping out. And Kim is obviously following Jackie's career, which starts tonight in about 7 minutes at Fordham. And they kick off their season. So we'll be tuning into ESPN Plus to catch some of that here tonight and see that. But just super excited, especially when you have former players that want to come out and help out, and excited. It's what it's all about.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We definitely appreciate the time. We appreciate the preview of the Poland girls basketball team, and we look forward to covering you all year, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Go Dogs!
That was the Coach's Corner with Poland girls basketball head coach Nick Blanche, and what a conversation it was with him. Ty, what were some of your takeaways from being able to listen to that conversation with Coach?
I mean, just going to be an exciting season in the NE8, and going to be exciting to see what each team's going to be able to do, and what these younger players, like we said, we don't know a lot of the names of, and we're going to be knowing the names of them real soon. So I think brings an added excitement to basketball this season, especially those first couple of weeks, because you're going to really start to see those new names start to get prominent in those first 2 to 3 weeks of the season. You'll see in the box scores, and you'll see what they're able to do. And that's going to be exciting. It's going to be basically a search of who's the next one for the team.
My favorite thing was, Coach said when he retires and when he steps away from coaching, he's going to go right to YSN and be a color commentator for YSN. So chair's open for you, Coach.
Yep, no doubt, as we'll definitely take another great basketball mind too. And you could just see, and basketball season's in the air, and a lot of people are right along with me too, excited for hoop season to start at this high school level, and we're really excited to get out there and see some of these teams.
That means we can officially say that another school is taking care of both programs previewed with their coaches on YSN. We have Poland taken care of. We talked to Eric Fender last week, and now we have Nick Blanche, and you are completely previewed if you're a Poland Bulldog.
Yep, we got you, Poland, all taken care of.
We got you.
For sure, as we continue our coverage with coaches, and we're still out there too. And if we haven't gotten to you, we're trying.
We're getting there.
We're trying to get to you.
We're like the little engine that could just keep chugging along.
We're chugging along, and we're getting as many as we can.
Yeah, we're coming. We're coming for you. We do have coaches scheduled for tomorrow, and while we have this time, let's just kind of preview who we'll have on the show tomorrow as we look at our schedule. And we go into the 11th. We're going to be talking to Coach Comlink from Warren JFK. We're going to be talking to John Matisse, the head coach of the Springfield girls basketball team. We'll also be talking to Matt Reel, the head coach of the Canfield girls basketball team. And then we'll round it out with Sarah Hamilton, the head coach of the Salem girls basketball team. So 4 coaches tomorrow, 3 girls, 1 boys, and we're going to keep chugging along with our basketball previews.
Yeah, and I mean, the 1 boys coach, too. We're talking Coach K over there at Warren JFK. And honestly, when you're looking at
Coach K, will the real Coach K please stand up?
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach K at JFK is what I like too. That's a great nickname. But looking at what Warren JFK was able to do last year too. Yeah, everyone focuses a lot on the football and baseball team. Why not? Baseball team won state, football team was the runner-up, made an appearance. Well, this was a good basketball team though last year.
Their basketball team went to the regional finals and ran into an absolute buzzsaw that is Richmond Heights. I don't know if you've seen some of the players they're bringing in this year too. Like if you go watch highlights of the Richmond Heights basketball players, no, it's ridiculous. Like,
and JFK was a great basketball team last year, and like you said, went to the regional final. So this was still a team that had a lot of success and is bringing back a lot of the same players from last year because it's really one core group of boys that kind of play all 3 sports. Obviously, Cam Hollabaugh is the one that's going to be missing from all of that, but we saw the football team continues to have success, and yes, what Cam Hollabaugh was able to do at JFK, absolutely incredible, and all the records he was able to set, but there's still a lot of great athletes over there, and they're doing some great things, and I expect much of the same, rather, from the basketball team.
We're excited to talk to him and the other coaches tomorrow, and right now, we're going to take our first break of the day, and we'll be back with Scotty Mincher in the studio as his weekly segment on Running Point coming up next, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring. And, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to this wonderful Wednesday edition of Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. And we are joined live in the studio, like we are every Wednesday, by this smooth-looking cat, Scotty Mincher, who took the captain's hat off. You had it set up perfectly.
Yeah, I did, but with the headphones, it just wasn't gonna work.
I'll make it work. I'm going to come over there and make it work.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony, because I think it does just it improves, everything.
You can't
I have that captain's hat on, makes everything better. Man.
You can't kick Ty's butt in trivia without a captain's hat.
Come on. That's why I rolled in with it today. I'm like, I gotta change up the vibes here. The energy.
What topics did you bring for us today before we get to your trivia challenge with Ty?
Well, before we get to the trivia, I had some interesting stuff, and I wanted, since this is a big week, really you could argue for everyone on this panel as far as pro interest the rest of the way, but to start off, I'll get to Ty, but first I wanted to start with you, Anthony. What do you make of the reports that the Browns' newly now released free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is considering the Packers, Saints, and your Kansas City Chiefs? What do you think about this, Anthony?
I don't want him to touch us with a 10-foot pole. I'll tell you that much. I mean, that guy is. There are some people that completely defend him every chance they get, and I don't know how many times he has to prove that he is toxic to a locker room before teams get it through their head. I don't want him in Kansas City. I think it's already something that we're trying to put back together. Something's wrong with our offense. I don't know what it is. There's something that, and I'm convinced that it's something that we don't know about. There's something going on internally in the Chiefs locker room that is just making their offense look wrong. Because that's the only thing I can come up with. So I don't want any Odell Beckham drama coming in and messing with Patrick Mahomes and his ability to try to get us back on track. I think the Packers could jump on it, though, because the Packers historically have never really given Aaron Rodgers much of a weapon. So to give
Well,
him Odell, it might back up their miss in a couple of drafts of trying to get a wide receiver.
I would say Devontae Adams is a pretty damn good weapon.
That's one. Just one. Name one other wide receiver that has been elite that Aaron Rodgers has had in Green Bay. Like he's had a bunch, like kind of Tom Brady. He's had a bunch of kind of no names in Green Bay for wide receivers. I mean, I can just because I watch a lot of football, but I'm sure the casual football fan wouldn't be able to just list off a couple of Green Bay wide receivers. I mean, Greg Jennings, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Nelson. What was his name? What was his first name?
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson. You can make an argument, but really, he's never had a standout receiver. And yeah, he has Devontae Adams, but teams just kind of double him, and I think he could use a number one guy and make Devontae Adams more of what he's meant to be, which is a slot receiver.
I haven't seen like every Packers game that's been on. I didn't get to see much of the game against your boys last week, but I know Randall Cobb has.
He helps.
He's a solid. I mean, again, but he's not a star. Like your point.
The knock on the Packers the last couple drafts have been that they have passed up on getting one of the better quarterbacks in the league. They've passed up on getting him receiver help, and they've went and gotten Jordan Love, who looked kind of lost.
I still don't get that pick to this day. I mean, I realize.
Ty, are you okay? Look at him.
Yeah, I'm good.
But I think the Jordan Love pick, I don't understand. I still don't understand to this day. Maybe down the line he develops into an adequate QB. It'd be hard to believe that he'll ever be a star in the league. But Anthony, before I do get to
looking at Ty, he looks like he's dead.
Oh man. The show's broken now.
It's broken.
Ty is dying.
He looks slouched. He's just
he's dying on the air.
No. Go ahead with what you're gonna ask.
Yeah, I was just saying before I do get to Ty, because I want to kind of pick his brain on the Browns-Patriots matchup. But before that, do you think it's possible that maybe there's some sort of injury or something going on with Patrick Mahomes? I don't want to say, I think it'd be ridiculous at this point to say the league has figured him out. Like, I think that'd be asinine to say at this point. But to the point you made earlier, something's fishy here.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if there's some sort of dissemination in the locker room. I have to believe at this point, when we've seen their offense go 2 straight weeks of looking very bad, and this offense has all those same roster spots they had in the last 2 years where their offenses looked predominantly good. I gotta think it's something past X's and O's of teams just playing too deep shell and forcing Kansas City to go, small ball. I gotta think it's something smaller. It's just something more than that. I mean, Patrick Mahomes doesn't look like he trusts anyone outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. He's forcing plays to them. Something looks disjointed. Something is disjointed in their offense, and I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if there's some kind of friction in the locker room. I wish I knew. I think it's something that is never going to be in the public, and the Chiefs are going to try to keep it internal. But hopefully they can fix it, because I don't think 13 points is going to win a whole lot of games.
I know you're a homer, but if you had to put a percentage on it, Anthony, right now, how you feel if the season ended today, the Chiefs would be they would be out of
We'd
it.
be out of the playoffs. We wouldn't be in the playoffs, I don't think.
Okay. See, I thought I looked at it and I thought they were one of the final teams.
I think
could be wrong.
I think Adam Scheffner tweeted out what the playoff picture would look like. Let me pull it up so I can see what the playoff picture would look like right now if the season ended today. So I remember seeing it. And Adam Schefter tweets a lot, so hold on. Odell. No, I'm just going to go to who I know. Hold on. You have a question for Ty?
I do have a question for Ty. Ty, this is obviously a very big game for both my Browns and your Patriots. Just going into this, looking at the standings, I think maybe I could argue and make a case that the Patriots could afford a loss here more than the Browns can, because right now the Patriots are only a game behind the Bills in the loss column in the division right now, where the Browns are 2 games behind the Baltimore Ravens. But I wanted to know from you, Ty, before the news broke about Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton, did you think the Browns had the upper hand in this game? And if you didn't, if you thought New England was still going to win this game anyway, even if Nick Chubb played, how confident are you right now with Nick Chubb's status still up in the air? The reports are that he has to have 2 negative tests within a 24-hour span. So what are your thoughts, Ty? How do you think this one is going to play out? What's your gut feeling right now about this big matchup in Foxborough on Sunday?
My gut feeling is that Bill Belichick is going to walk in wearing a crop top to Gillette, and he is going to hand the Browns the heartbreaking loss of the season and put them out of their misery. Now, no, I do think the Browns are going to their defense is what's going to be concerning in this one, but that's the thing, is the Patriots, as of late, they're playing as a collective unit and as a team right now. And Mac Jones is looking solid. He's not looking like he's blowing the doors off the building, but he's looking solid for his rookie year. And we have a very good defense that is the backs of what makes this team very good. And we got a lot of our defensive pieces back from last year that did not play because they opted out due to COVID. So getting those pieces back this year have certainly helped the Patriots on defense. And having Mac Jones, I think, is definitely what we needed a little bit more. Cam Newton last year, despite getting a 7-9 record, his arm was not the same in what it was. And we were kind of missing that throwing accuracy. And what we saw the last few weeks, too, and the game especially against the Chargers, is what has got me to buy into this team being a team that can make a wild card run this year. I definitely think so. And with Buffalo losing to Jacksonville, that seat's getting mighty warm right now. And I know the only one that could take them down to the Patriots. But you're right, that the Patriots can definitely afford probably a loss a little bit more, considering the Jets and Miami are nowhere in sight, where a loss in the AFC North with the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers all fighting for it, you can lose so much in positioning in just that, and that's going to be tough too. But I think without the running game, it's going to be detrimental to the Browns, because I think the Browns focus so much on the running game. Dearness Johnson might have another great game. We got Barmore up the middle too, and we have some pretty good guys on the edge, including Van Noy, who plays very well in the Patriot system.
That's where I was going next, Ty. Do you think Dearness Johnson's performance, would you say it was more of just kind of an aberration, a flash in the pan, or do you think he's a good, solid back, maybe not one of the best backs in the league like Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt, but do you think Dearness Johnson is a good, solid back that just hasn't gotten much opportunity? What are your thoughts? And if he does have to start in this game, do you think the Patriots could shut him down, even with that strong Browns O-line?
I think anybody has the potential of being shut down on any given Sunday. I will say that he ran on a very good Denver Broncos defense that at the time included Von Miller inside of it. So he ran against a good defense, and it's a very good Browns offensive line. So they might have success in that too. Turnovers are going to be the biggest thing in this one, and I think that's where you're going to see which quarterback turns the ball over more is the one that's going to come away as the loser. Both Mac Jones and Baker have been a little bit susceptible to turnovers this season, but it's whoever plays a cleaner game, I think, is going to come out the victor.
All right, so if the playoffs started today, this is how the AFC would look. The top two seeds are, believe it or not, Tennessee and Baltimore. So they would get the bye, and your wild card weekend would look, well, actually, Tennessee would just get the bye because now only one seed get the bye. Your wild card weekend would look like Baltimore versus New England, the Chargers versus Pittsburgh, and the Raiders versus the Buffalo Bills. In the NFC, the Cardinals right now would get the bye. Packers would play the Falcons, the Buccaneers would play the Saints, and the Cowboys would play the Rams.
Talk about a team getting lucky and your Chiefs not having to play Aaron Rodgers.
So the Chiefs are one behind the wild card with New England, and your Browns are right behind the Chiefs.
So it is the top seven.
Top seven.
Yeah.
One seed gets a bye, and then you have the four division winners and the three wild cards.
Yeah, and it's kind of been that way in the NFC too, but as far as AFC wise, this is the most wide open I remember the AFC being, I think, in a number of years. I think it's truly week to week and just up for grabs.
We'll see.
Right now.
Scotty, it is time for your glorious return to the Trivia Challenge with Ty. What kind of awesome questions did you bring us today? I know you said you had one in the holster last week, so we're kind of excited to what you open with.
Yeah, well, I had one in the holster, but I was talking to the man DJ, and he wanted me to lead off with another one.
Hold on, I'm going to come over and get your captain's hat. You have to look the part.
Okay, cool. We'll look the part before we get this underway here. You want me to go with the question? I'll just go forward with it right now. Ty, I have one in the holster from last week, but before I get to that one, I wanted to give you the one that DJ got me. He wanted me to throw at you. He wanted you to name all the members of the EOAC.
All members of the EOAC.
Look at
that. I love it. I love it, Scotty. You're looking fly as can be. All members of the EOAC would include, if we're referencing the EOAC that I'm thinking we're referencing, it's Columbiana, East Palestine, Latonia, Lisbon, Southern United, Valley Christian, and Wellsville.
That's on the money there. 1 for 1 tie. So I think that brings the tally. I know
It's 42-11 now.
Yeah, I knew you were up in the 40s, but I got a feeling I'm gonna get you with these ones, Ty. And starting off here, the Browns and the New York Jets, they played the first ever Monday Night Football game in 1970. The debut of Monday Night Football at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. The Browns would win the game by 10 points, 31-21. Ty, I want to know from you who scored the final touchdown in the game between the Browns and the Jets in 1970 on the debut of Monday Night Football.
This one's funny too because I'm pretty sure it's like built into like the Madden, like the way they talk on the announcers too. Like they talk about it whenever you play like an Monday night game throughout like the actual season. This is the one where Joe Namath, I believe, started for the Jets at the time. This was back in 1970. I'm trying to think of how the scoring went in that game.
Giving you 2 minutes, Ty, because we want Scotty to get 3 questions.
I think I got him.
I don't know. He's in his thinking mode, Scotty. He's about to like lash out. It's like he's a car that's spinning his wheels, getting all this kinetic energy. I should say potential energy. And then the one it's in a looks frozen. Oh, there's a smile. I see some steam going from his head. I think he's short circuited. Under a minute to go, Ty. It was hard about this one. I have no way to fact check it. I'm not going to go through Monday Night Football game logs and try to see who scored last in the first Monday Night Football.
I mean, I have
I trust you.
The box
as long as Dave
right.
didn't help you.
No, he didn't help me on this one. I have the box score right in front of me, so.
Ty. You're out of time, bud. Answer. Oh, you're muted. How did you get muted?
I can't. I'm not entirely sure on who would have scored the last one and that one too. I'm not sure.
Why do you got him?
What is it? The answer is Billy Andrews. He was a linebacker for the Browns.
Everyone knew that.
25-yard interception return.
It's my second guess.
The final touchdown of the game.
Billy Andrews, my second guess. Scotty, what's question number 2? You're up to 42-12. You have a 30-point deficit.
My second question here is, again, this is going with the Browns, and then I got one that I think is a real dandy for question number 3. But before we get to that, for the second question here, I want to know what Browns player intercepted the Dallas Cowboys 3 times in one game on December 3rd, 1961.
Wow, we're going way back in history. 3 picks against the Cowboys. That's pre Super Bowl too. Back when the Browns were actually, winning.
Yeah, they were actually, relevant, competent, however you want to put it.
Another 2 minutes on the clock time. I think you got him again. He usually talks through these answers when he's confident. He's frozen.
If I'm right, Gibson was the one that had interceptions afterwards that was tied the record before it was Bernie Parrish.
So you're going with Bernie Parrish?
Yeah.
Bernie Parrish, right?
Oh, man.
Sniped by Ty.
Sniped. Unbelievable, Ty.
Pew pew.
Sure you didn't Google that, man.
I know, we've checked. Ty does not cheat.
I just remember because Gibson had that 3 interception game against the Jaguars in more recent memory. I don't know if you remember that game, Scotty, but I remember they had that graphic and he was on that list too as another one that had 3 interceptions.
Graphic from a game that was who knows when. Just a random graphic that popped up probably for
I told you it was Browns and Jaguars. I think the 2013 or 2014 season.
Yeah, okay, so he remembers a graphic that popped up on the screen for maybe like 10 seconds, maybe in a 2013 game. Ty might be a psychopath. What's your third question?
Okay, my third question. Now this is a loaded one.
Oh,
you might have to fact check this because it was another one that came from
Super Dave.
From Super Dave. Yeah. But anyway, my third question, this is a baseball question. In the late 1970s, baseball tragically lost 2 of its stars, the California Angels Lyman Bostock in 1978 and the New York Yankees Thurman Munson in 1979. Coincidentally, both Bostock and Munson played their last game against the same opponent. Ty, from you, I need you to name the opponent that Bostock and Munson played against and the 5 other players who participated in both games.
What was the final part of that question?
Name the opponent that Lyman Bostock and Thurman Munson played against in their last game and the 5 other players who participated in both games.
5 others. I'm confused. There's 9 in baseball. Something's not right here. Some math's not right. I don't know what the question is. Good luck, Ty. You're the one that has to answer it.
Yeah, this is definitely an odd question. Well, I know I know it was the White Sox that Thurman Munson played his last game against. I know that. So it has to be the White Sox for both. Are you talking 5 other players that played in
Yeah, I don't know what the last part of that question is supposed to be asking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me too, but that's how Dave worded it.
Get Dave in here.
Yeah,
Super Dave.
We need Dave in here.
Put out the Super Dave signal.
Yeah, I could give you the question again.
Go read me it one more time too, just so I could try to understand it if you can.
Okay. In the late 1970s, baseball tragically lost 2 of its stars, the California Angels Lyman Bostock in 1978 and the Yankees Thurman Munson in 79. Coincidentally, both Bostock and Munson played their last game against the same opponent. Ty, you already got the opponent right. So the 5 players, other players who participated in both of those games.
Oh, I see it. Okay. There are 5 players that were involved in both of those games in both those years. So rosters but there are 5 players, whether it be on the White Sox or the Yankees. This is what I'm thinking, that were a part of both of those games combined. So like, you get it now, at least the way I'm interpreting it. You're muted.
So there was 5 players that played with Bostock and Munson.
Yeah, I think there were like 5 players total that were on the field for both of those games combined.
Yeah, and you got the team already, so now I just need the players.
Okay. All right. Now that I kind of know. Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm guessing it could be on the White Sox or it could be on the Yankees or the Angels. Only 5 players from 1 year. That means the Angels roster had to.
Well, because
that means the White Sox roster
died in 78, and I think Munson was 79, right? Munson was his last game was in 79, so it was 1 year apart almost.
It was established in the question. Only 5 players were. So I'm guessing a bulk of them still have to be White Sox players. Why am I helping you? Shut up.
I mean, he loaded the question for sure. I'm trying to think of who would have played and who moved teams that season.
2 minutes, Ty. You get a point for each player you get right, by the way. That's the risk Scotty takes with these loaded questions.
3 or 4 of the players, the names I could pronounce fine. There's one guy, his last name, I know I'll probably butcher it, but
30 seconds, Ty.
I'm trying. Oh, everything is moving so slow right now. I'm trying to think of who all played in between those times too.
You got anything?
My back.
Your time is expired. Do you have anything?
No. As far as that, I mean, thinking of just guys, I'm trying to even think of guys that were playing at the time. And I mean, I can't think of anyone in the lineup at the time that moved over from that season too. I just know it was the White Sox they both played their last game against.
All right, we'll give you the point for the White Sox, but you're going to lose 5 points for the players. Scotty, you got them.
Yeah, the name of the players were Mike Suarez. I think that's how you pronounce it. Could be butchering that. Lamar Johnson, Chet Lemon, Greg Pryor, and Kevin Bell.
All right. Lock that in your memory bank and use it in 20 years when someone asks you again.
I told you I was coming with heat this week, Ty.
So Scotty gets 6 points today, and Ty gets 2, which means the total is 43-17. Ty still with the commanding lead. But Scotty wins today.
Hey, you gotta, well, I'm not even walking, so I can't even say you gotta walk before you run. But
Scotty, thank you so much for coming on today.
It makes sense now, though, because Chet Lemon and that they played for the White Sox. I was thinking players that played for the Angels and the Yankees. I was not thinking of anyone that played for the White Sox in both games. That would have made more sense. That's my fault for misunderstanding the question.
I'd hate to cut this short, but we have to get to this Crestview soccer interview that we're going to play from last night. So enjoy that. Brought to you by Thousand Bolts. That is also bringing you the game tonight live on ysnlive.com. So here is your Coach's Corner from Crestview Soccer with Coach Rob Auer and Riley McCall. Anthony Harwig here with a very special Coach's Corner, the soccer edition, joined by the co-head coaches of the Crestview boys soccer team. We are joined by Rob Auer and Riley McCall. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you guys are really popular right now, but we appreciate the time to talk to us.
No problem.
Thank you. Thanks for covering us here.
Man, what a wild ride it has been on. Talk about what it's kind of been like. You start the tournament, you win districts, and then you go into regionals. You win 2 games there, and here we are. Crestview's going to the state semifinal.
Well, I mean, it's always kind of been that nut to crack for the program in general, especially the last 6 years for the most part, 6 to 8 years. It's always been the district final. The district, this Youngstown district, is a hard district to fight through, and I think it makes champions out of a lot of people, and I think we've seen that, over the last couple of years with Cardinal Mooney, and South Range especially.
Yeah, if we send a team, they typically seem to go far.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, this is our 3rd straight year with an area team in at least the state semis, but you're the first team to do it out of Columbiana County. What kind of pride does that give you guys to know that not only are you the first team to do it for Crestview, but you're the first team to do it in your whole county, and now that you're kind of representing the Columbiana County tomorrow?
Well, I think that's big for the area. I think soccer in Columbiana County in particular isn't the most popular sport. It's a lot of football teams, but I think showing the area that what the county is capable of really could elevate the game in the coming years.
Yeah, and a lot of the kids that are on our team, even though we don't play a lot of county schools, in the off season they play in leagues and stuff together, so they know each other, and that was something just posed to us actually I think after our last game,
Yeah.
it was mentioned that we're the first soccer team to go to state out of Columbiana County, and I feel like I feel like the community's behind us. I feel like the county's behind us. Some of our kids have reported back to us that kids from other schools have been rooting for us, and that really just kind of makes us feel good. We feel like not only are we personally pushing for our own team, but professionally, we want to be able to represent our area and represent our county well.
Rob, I gotta imagine it's been a really good couple weeks to be an hour. I mean, my word, the volleyball team goes to regionals. They get this close to independence. The back-to-back state runners-up. You know, Grace has a great season. Your wife, obviously, a great coach and has a great season. But now you guys get to go to state. Kind of take us through the whirlwind of what it's been like for your family.
It's been pretty cool. As we got into the playoffs and both teams were successful, we kind of did have a little bit of side conversation with, just about how awesome that would be if both teams got to regionals, and then maybe by the fat chance both teams won regionals, and I don't mean fat chance because it's not being an impossibility, just in the overall scope of it, what are the odds? And then, how cool would that be if both teams made states? And then how cool would that be if both teams won states? So, as far as being an hour goes in our household, one team is still alive, and I think everybody's happy. I know my wife's excited for our team. Our family's excited for our team. And but overall, it's not an hour thing. I've been with some of these kids since they were 5, well, probably more like 6 years old and on. And to me, it's always been about the kids and seeing how well they can do. And I've told them all when, especially some of the older kids, I used to work with them when they were much younger, as far as being a youth coach. I recognized really they were a special group of kids. And I remember having conversations with them in 7th and 8th grade, just talking about how if you guys stick together, you stick with this, you stay together, that the opportunities that you can achieve are endless. In 7th and 8th grade, some of the kids, after playing soccer for so long, were starting to talk about, well, maybe I want to play football, or maybe I want to just not play soccer and play basketball or do something else. So having those conversations about how special they were as a soccer team, and now seeing that come to fruition, it's almost like, people are living dreams, but living dreams in a reality based on goals they've set for themselves.
Before we talk about this matchup tomorrow, I want to talk about the regional final and what it took to kind of beat this really good Kirtland team that everyone, Kirtland seems to be in the limelight no matter what sport we're talking about. Mm-hmm. You guys won 4-1. You really handled that game, even though you didn't really dominate possession. Your defense stepped up and almost pitched a shutout, 1 goal late in the game when you guys were up 4-0. But other than that, you guys really played well. What did it take to kind of win that regional final and beat the Kirtland Hornets?
Well, we had to do our homework is what it came down to. It's especially in the postseason. Districts is one thing. Even playing Ursuline in the regional final, that was a team that we had played before earlier in the year and won against. But it comes down to, these teams that you don't see ever, that you're going to have to do your research on. So we did our homework. We knew their best players in Marco Valenchik and Evan Duran, I think was his name, their striker. We knew that those were their best kids, and we had to shut them down. So we formulated a game plan based on those 2 kids, their strongest players, and we knew that if we stuck to the game plan the entire time, we didn't lose our heads, that we would come out with a win, just based on how offensively potent we've proven to be over the entire season, and especially to some tougher teams. So it all comes down to the homework that you do, and sometimes the company you keep. I've had a couple coaches that Bay Village's coach Bobby Daughtry. They handed us a heavy loss. I called him the other night asking about Ottawa Hills, and he had nothing but praises for us and how we responded to the 8-0 loss that they gave us early in the season. So it's stuff like that, just as a coach, that makes me better at coaching. And I think that, if the kids didn't buy into that, watching film of a game that they got, whacked for 80 minutes, that, they wouldn't get better. And I don't think they'd be in the position that they'd be in today.
One of the things I want to give you guys the chance to do is highlight some of these players that maybe don't get, pushed into the limelight, because we all know Nick Novak and what he's been able to do this season. And, Mitch Hauer has had a good tournament as well. But some of the other kids that are, there's a lot of dirty work done in soccer that maybe doesn't really go noticed by people that aren't fans of the sport, don't get in the headlines. Highlight some of the kids that have really been keys to getting this far.
Well, winning a soccer game has a lot to do with your defense. It has a lot to do with your middle backs. It's not always about who's scoring the goal. Sometimes the assist is better than the goal. Sometimes the assist of the assist is better than the goal. Sometimes the strong defensive play that has led to an immediate counterattack is the most important part of the play. And we have a whole field of kids that contribute to doing all those things. They might not necessarily be up front where they automatically start out closer to the goal when a pass comes out. But, I could tell you, we have some younger defensemen who have really stepped up in Andrew Busey, and he plays alongside Mitch Montine, who's done a phenomenal job. Both of them read plays very well. We've got the Crane brothers, who they're a machine themselves. They kind of like play like a piece of construction equipment, if you will, with that last name there. They're tough kids, and they're a force to be reckoned with. They're strong. They dominate their areas of the field. We have 5 middle seniors on the team, and their experience is really what drives everything we do. There's always an old saying in soccer: if you win the middle, you win the game. And sometimes winning the middle doesn't always have to do with how much possession you have. Sometimes winning the middle means just making the other team kind of camp out there, maybe in the backside of the middle, and not giving them a good look downfield. So Ryan Emsch certainly has a huge presence in the middle, with making plays, shutting down the opposition's passing lines. We have Carter Blakeman. I kind of joke with Carter. He's another one of our middles. I talk about him, how he's our meat in the middle. He's a force. He's first on the ball to head it, get the ball back downfield. He's built like a brick wall. We have Matthew De Niro on being another middle flank, and he's crafty with the ball. He's got a lot of finesse, crosses the ball well, sees the field well. We have coming around the corner here, to the far corner in defense, we have Caden Booth. He's another young guy. He stepped up. We had another kid starting in that position at the start of the year, and Caden has filled those shoes very nicely. And then we have another great player in the middle, William Welsh. He just picks. He's like a pickpocket. Someone comes by him with the ball and snatch, it's gone, and they look down at their feet and don't even realize what happened. So we have. It's really tough. I feel like our whole team is a star, and I'm probably getting a little long-winded about it because I can go on forever about how great these kids have filled their spots, and they really embrace what they do. Most people are playing the same positions that they did last year. They're just doing it a lot better.
There's nothing wrong with a coach that wants to talk about their kids. I will never stop a coach from blabbing about the kids on this team, because you can just tell how much they've put into it. The more soccer coaches we've had the chance to talk to here.
Hold on. I got one more. Goalies are often.
I was going to bring them up because
they are a lot of times an unsung hero, and our goalie has he's done a great job this year, and I couldn't say enough about him. He played indoor this year, and he was he hadn't been used to playing a goalie much in his past, and he just kind of said, I want to play goalie, and he's really moved into the position well. I don't want to say he's looked shaky, because really to me he just looked like he needed a little more experience, and it's almost like the world of being a goalie has caught right up to him. He's having a great playoff. He's making key saves for us, and I think some of the saves he's made has really just picked our team up, and we realize 100% that we have a solid team from the front field all the way to the back field through Sam Campbell.
I was going to say is more soccer coaches we get the chance to talk to on Running Point, the more we realize that not everyone was built to be a goalie. It takes a certain mentality to be back there and to be in front of the net. What's it say about Sam that he came to you guys and said, I want to be goalie and I want that responsibility on me?
Well, I mean, graduating classes keep coming and coming, and there's always, you might have a good goalie every so often, but you never have seldom do, I mean, especially at this school, do we have a goalie for 1 or 2 years. Like, the last, Carter Blakeman was actually our goalie for the first 2 seasons of his high school career. And as good of a goalie he was, some people just don't want to play the position, and you have to understand. But to have the want to pick up that position and learn it and develop the way Sam has over, the last 4 or 5 months is miraculous. I've never seen someone take to it that well, like a duck to water, if you will. Sam just, the mentality that he has as well to keep pushing himself further and to do the extra things is what makes him not only a good player but a good teammate as well.
Mm-hmm. I've always felt good natural baseball players make really good goalies, and Sam is he's hoping to actually continue on in college playing baseball.
Yeah, that's a name that we are very familiar with in our coverage of baseball, not just in the spring, but he also plays in the summer as well. Mm-hmm. I do want to bring up Nick Novak because obviously team leader in goals and 43 assists to go with it. What's it like coaching a talent like this and being able to watch him kind of grow as an athlete as well?
Yeah, some people who have that many goals, you can say, look at that kid, they're a ball hog. But when you got 43 assists to go along with that, it shows that you are an absolute team player. And so I couldn't be more proud of Nick for how he's carried himself and included his teammates. The best strikers are strikers that also include their teammates. And, that's what he's done.
Yeah, Nick's a pivotal point of this offense, obviously. Very seldom do you see such a skilled player come through. There's 1 or 2 every year. Cam Thomas from South Range is also a very good player for the area, and him and Nick Novak know each other well. That's that caliber of player that we continue to generate in the area is huge. Just for the development of the kind of product that we put out every year. Having that little rivalry and, to see Nick always hungry for more, always going to the next step, always, pushing his teammates, being creative. The cookie cutter soccer player is not always the best soccer player. The ability to be creative is huge, to do stuff that you've never done before, especially in practice, because if you can do it in practice, if you can pull it off, you get that confidence. And once you continue to build confidence in the game, when you're feeling good, it's, there's not a man in the world that can get the ball from your feet. If you're Nick Novak, that is.
I know, right? If you're Nick, not everyone's Nick Novak, that's for sure. Before we let you go, I want to preview this game tomorrow against Ottawa Hills. Give the fans a little preview of what makes them so good, what to expect from them, what kind of maybe your keys to victory are, and what tomorrow's going to be like.
Well, we both have taken a look at them. A team like Ottawa Hills making it this deep into the playoffs, they're going to be a good team. We know that. We see that they hustle. They seem to always hustle. Their feet are always moving fast. They like to pass the ball. They like to share the ball. And just some things that we notice that they do, maybe certain habits. We're going to try to capitalize on some of them. I'm not sure if I want to mention that here.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but I mean, we do have a game plan. But they're a good team, and we respect them, and we definitely respect the match and the challenge that we're going to have tomorrow.
We would be, it goes back to the homework thing. We would be remiss if we didn't give them the respect that they deserve for making it this far and going there blind. So it's the hours of film. It's the the analyzation of their strong players. It's the calling on your coach buddies and seeing what they know, getting a second opinion. We might not see something that John Valenchek or Bobby Daughtry from Bay Village might see. This is a team that was beat by Mooney last year in the same spot. So in a Mooney team that we had tied 1-1 earlier that season. So if that's we're prepared for that game. The way we overcame the Mooney game is something that I think changes an entire team and their attitude and in the way they treat each other. And it's like surviving a war together. It creates a bond. And after that game, we've been having so much fun, it's ridiculous. And I think that tomorrow is going to come down to executing our game plan, keeping level heads, having fun. These boys play their best soccer when they're smiling. It's unbelievable. In all seriousness, it's a very high profile game. This is the Final Four of the state, but at the end of the day, it is a game, and I think our boys have the most fun playing it, especially when they're winning.
Yeah, that's why they do it.
Winning is always fun. Coaches, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and help us kind of preview tomorrow's game. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll be down there with you. DJ Yoakley going to be on the call for your state semifinal at 7 o'clock against Ottawa Hills tomorrow on YSN.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for covering us again.
That was the exclusive interview with Coach Rob Auer and Riley McCall, the head coaches of the Crestview boys soccer team that is heading down to play Ottawa Hills in the state semifinal tonight. Once again, it will be on ysnlive.com, 7 o'clock being your kickoff time. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next, and then Power Hour from 3 to 4, and then once again soccer tonight. So we have you covered all night on YSN. I'll be back tomorrow with Ty Bartell from 12 to 2, and we'll see you then.